Hey, I'm Christian. No, I do not need glasses, these just help my eyes. And second, welcome to the video or podcast. Still working on that. I'm naming this Banter Beyond. Now, to quickly run down how this will work, I have two of my friends at a Discord call at the moment, and they'll be participating in a talk show slash game show. To explain, the first half we're all gonna talk just simple things, anything we found interesting in the world, or just what happened to us, giving us a chance to vent, or at least for me. And the second half, I have a game or a topic that they'll be participating in. Now, during this, there are stakes in here, and winner will stay for the next episode, and loser will be gone for an undisclosed time that I haven't figured out yet. And I have two of my friends at the call at the moment. They're well prepped. We're gonna have a bunch of fun, bunch of laughs. It's gonna be great. Is what I would be telling you if I haven't just got off a call with them and this is what happened after. Probably should have told them exactly what I just told you, that this was a game show slash talk show where they'd be competing for points. I mean, they know about the whole point system, and when loser goes, loser goes, winner stays. I just didn't really explain how topics work exactly. You're about to find out anyways, so enjoy the video or podcast and have a great time. Well, yeah, I guess do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Ira, do you want to go ahead and start? Do you want to say anything about
I'm
yourself?
uh I'm Ira. I'm Christian's friend.
Yeah, yeah. Just friends. What about you, Carl?
I got nothing.
Oh, beautifully said. Well,
I mean,
before
you
we
already
get
introduced me, so
did I? Oh,
yeah, you said my name.
I said your name. You don't want to say anything else
I mean,
about
that's
yourself?
introducing me.
I guess.
What do you need to know?
I don't know. Well, it's your introduction, and you never had like an icebreaker, or is that what's called icebreaker?
No,
Okay,
the weather today sucks.
great. Anything going on with Charles' life? Anything you want to talk about?
No,
'Cause
I sit and stare at a wall all day.
you okay? Well, before we get into the topic, actually, I'll tell you. I was hoping to get in a little bit of small talk because I have things I like to vent about, and
Oh
I was
joy!
hoping, hopefully, yeah, no, hopefully. Um, well, I had a flat tire in my car. I think I already told you both. But do you guys know I already had a flat tire before from like my time here in Tennessee?
Say that again.
I had no idea you ever had a flat tire.
Well, great, fantastic. Well, I got a second flat tire, or no, to be exact, I went a few weeks back. I went to change the oil of my car by myself because I wanted to. I had this weird confidence that I could, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. In there, there was a fellow person there who was from the mechanic shop, and we kind of like talked a bit while I was changing the oil to my car. And I wouldn't say we're friends, but we do talk quite a bit if we ever run into each other. And at some point during the end of school, I ran into him again, and we talked for a bit, and we were close to my car, and I'm like, check her out. She a beaut, ain't she? And like, he looks around for a bit. He asked me a few questions about cars that I had no idea what he was talking about, and I'm like, I don't know. And eventually he
Y'all
stopped.
y'all were getting close in your car?
No, we were
Is that
outside
what
of
you said?
the car. Because I was getting ready. I was packing all my welding gear back into the back of my car.
Yeah.
And he walks around it, and he stopped at one of the tires and kind of stared at it weird. And then he's just like, one of your tires like needs to be changed soon, right? Or I'm like, hmm? And like, he like explains it to me. He's like, you see these like rip marks? This tire's old. Like, honest, I recommend like getting that checked because that's dangerous. So, I'm just like, oh, that's fun. I take it to a mechanic shop that I live close by, and I explained what my friend told me. I'm like, yeah, my friend apparently told me I need to get a tire changed. So I was hoping you guys could look at it and see if that's true or not. And a guy just followed me outside, and he started like talking about it, and he's just like, "How's your day?" And I'm like, "It's fine, except for the tire change." And he's just like, "Yeah, but it could have been worse. You could have died." And I'm like, "Yep, that's true." And Yeah, so he scans a tire with his phone, or from what it looks like, and then he's just like, "Yep, you need it changed." And I'm like, "Can, can you explain why? I mean, you kind of just scanned it with your phone." And then, he explains like the same like tire marks that like it was ripping. And then he asked me how old the tire was, and I didn't really know. Obviously, I kind of told him I already had it changed before in a different mechanic shop. And he's just like, "Oh, I see what happened. You see, apparently in if a certain if like I guess small mechanic shops or sketchy mechanic shops, when they got want to get rid of a tire that's kind of bad or old, they would sell you an old one, and you wouldn't know it's old because they would hide the date on the inside of the car, so you would never know. So that was fun. I had to get it changed twice.
So you got scammed?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I got scammed. I had to change my tire, and that was the same tire I changed last month, so I had to change it again.
Damn,
Dude, I
bro.
went when I went up to pay, he was like the tire I bought was like 60 to 70 bucks. And then he started typing on his computer. He was like, dude, after like calculations or like after using installation fee, you're looking at $200." And he turns to me, and I just like look at him, and I'm like, I can't afford that. And he just like slowly turns back to his computer, start typing again. It's like, taking away the installation fee, you're looking at 178. And he like turns to me again, and I'm like, I can't afford that. And he just like turns back and he's like, "What's your budget?" And I'm like, "I don't know, 100." And he's like starts typing. He starts typing for a bit, and at this point, I was kind of scared because I couldn't keep driving this car if it's just gonna like combust at any moment. So, uh, I kind of just like I started pulling up my phone looking if there's any other place I could get a tire. And almost I completely forgot he was right next to me because eventually he just suddenly started talking again. He was like, "All right, does 120 sound good for you?" And I'm like, "Yep, sure. Yeah, great. I'll take it." And he was like, "Great. All right." Oh, this was like at 11 in the morning, and he's just like, "Great. All right. I'll have you ready at 2:30." And I'm like, "PM?" He was like, "Mm-hmm." And I look outside and there was like almost no cars there. So I'm like, can can I ask why am I waiting 3 hours? And he was just like, "Oh, well, you're on the wait list, you see? Like you're behind 11 people. You see, we normally beat the computer, so you'll probably be out of before 2:30." And I didn't really have much of a choice, so I kind of just sat in the lobby, just wait, kind of bored out of my mind because my phone was at 20%. So I really had to use that like sparingly. And they did not beat the clock. They gave me my car around 2:40. And it was me changing
Yeah.
my yeah. Anyways, Carl, you haven't really said anything. It's kind of disturbing how quiet you've been. Is, Carl?
Hello.
What? Have you listened to any of that?
Yeah, okay. We
Yeah.
don't talk about that.
Well, okay. Well, you I don't even know what to say to that. Well,
My mic is muted.
Welcome
oh,
back,
okay. Yeah,
Carl.
well,
I was here the whole time. I heard
yeah,
you.
great. I could tell. Yeah, I could tell. Anyways, since none of you guys have any interesting to say, good thing I've made some notes to kind of fill in those gaps. So, this is something for anyone listening so they can learn a bit about you. I got a question for both of you to answer. So, hypothetically, if people could be
Oh
summoned, kind
God.
of like if people could be summoned kind of like demons were, like you draw a circle and some candles, and you need to only sacrifice three random items, one item representing something that you want, the carrot under the box, a second item you think represents yourself, and a third item you think other people see you as, what item do you guys think you'd have?
This is just a trick to get me to like listen to hypotheticals, isn't it?
I mean, it's
He's not
part
even
of it.
recording. It's just gonna be 1 hour of hypotheticals.
No, I dude.
And then he's gonna be like, Spotify didn't let me upload
Yeah,
this for some reason.
come on, guys. Don't worry, guys. I need 5, 10 more of these, before Spotify.
Oh,
It's a simple question, Carl. Come on, really think about it.
I don't even know what the question means.
Okay, assume you know what it means. You know, how, like you summon a ghost, you say Bloody Mary 3 times or their name 3 times. It's this, but you need 3 items for that person to like summon them here. I said those to kind of help you out. One item, you that kind of something that you'd want. A second item that you think represents you, and a third item, forget what I said. You anything you want, whatever. Just answer the question, please.
Well, right now I want some sleep, so a bed.
Yeah.
Um, something that
Well,
represents me. Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay, give
yeah,
me a
yeah. You're
moment.
thinking. Yeah, my bad, my bad.
Perfection takes time, Christian.
I'm sorry. You're so right. Well, Ira, do you? Well, I was thinking. Do you wanna go ahead and say what you
All
want?
right. So the item that represents me will be let me think. Let me
Oh
think.
my god. I guess
No,
I guess I don't know
like
what I
I'm
expected.
I'm sick right now, so I'd say no spray.
No
The
spray.
item
That's so
that
real. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
can I choose like allergy medicine?
the
like
the
yeah.
the whatever the hell I want item. Wait, am I like giving this up forever, or like am I
No,
still
no,
gonna
no.
keep?
I'm saying like if I bring these 3 items into a circle, this will summon you to wherever I'm at.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
no
I know
It's
what I
like
want.
spray,
demonic magic type.
no
So
spray. What's it
Yeah, when I
called?
think of
No,
Ira, I
no
think of no
spray, hot
spray.
Cheetos, and like the 10-piece Wingstop.
What about you, Carl?
a bed because I want sleep.
Uh-huh.
It's antipsychotic,
It's
and
like
for
psychotic.
anything I want, I forgot. Oh yeah, like a 10 carat like bar
Just
of
money.
gold, so that no one ever has to so no one can ever
No
summon
one
me.
can summon you. That's really.
That's great. Well, if you guys are interested in mine, I really put in some work into it. Uh,
Oh yeah, I bet. I bet.
Hold on. I
No, I
can't.
believe you. I believe you, Christian.
Yeah, so I think my first item would be just food, because I like eating. My second item,
What
uh,
food? What the
just
fuck
like
is that?
I mean, like just food. If you like, I'm pretty broad. Just give me like I don't know, Mexican food, Chinese
One
takeout.
grain of rice.
I
What?
will eat any. I will eat anything, is what I'm saying. I'm hungry like half the time, so
Like, what about your favorite food?
I mean, I don't
Why do
know.
you just get to get away with food?
I mean, what? Okay, fine. Any Mexican food. Does that make you happy?
No, it's specific. Do you
Be
think you're gonna
specific.
find in a devil book? Yeah, just get him some food. Like that is.
Wait. Okay, okay. What about? Okay, fine. Give me some. If you can get me a shrimp boil, like a shrimp boil bowl, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Sea boil, is that what it's called? Sea boil? And it's
D-boy,
like a
dude.
bag. Yeah, sea boil. A second thing I'd want is just a black cat, because I like cats. And
Black.
for some reason,
Is it
third one,
dead or alive?
a
That's the
black
big.
cat. It's just I guess preferably alive. But I don't, I guess the dead one might work.
Okay.
You're the one deciding this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And I guess the last one I just put a teddy bear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was my 3 lists, to represent something I want, something I relate to, and something I feel like people see me as.
Teddy bear.
Teddy bear. I like to imagine myself as a teddy bear.
You. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, like I said,
I
you
can
want to
see it.
hear? Yeah, okay. Well, I found something interesting on the news that I thought you guys might want to listen to. So this is a news article or something I saw a while before. It's called "Birthday Boy Being Denied of Scoring a Goal by Scumbag Keeper." Now, can any of you guys guess what that
I've
may or may
seen
It
this
not
sounds
be?
video.
biased.
I've seen this video.
You video? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You seen it?
Yeah, it's the.
Yeah,
I
dude.
thought it was a Make a Wish kid, or
No, no, no. It
maybe it
was
was his birthday. He
no, no, no.
doesn't. He like kicks it like 3 different times, and he blocks all 3.
Yeah, no, no. So there was this kid. It's called. It was a Ukrainian football boss has a double. Hold on, giving us a quick skim through. They have a picture of the guy. Essentially, 70-year-old, I cannot pronounce his name, had like it was his birthday, and they decided like before the game he could have a free gold kick to make him feel better. I don't know what kind of connections he had to the people, but there's like video of like he shoots it once as best as he could, and the goalkeeper for some reason was still there, blocked it. Like he didn't even let it get anywhere close to the goal. And no one said anything. They just let him try again. And the kid tries again, he winds up, he kicks it, and the goalie blocks it again. He like picks it up and like threw it far away from the kid. And no, apparently, here it says one wrote, bet that goalkeeper felt massive. His ego must be extraordinary after those two mental saves. And,
Yeah.
you know,
And I think after that, during the game that they played, I don't think he saved another ball.
that was really funny because those two blocks from the kid were the only goals he's ever blocked. They lost the game. He didn't block a single score during the actual game. Like, dude, apparently the Barstool Football uh commented like, "Life sucks, buddy. Get used to it." Anyways, I thought that was really funny. Don't you think, Carl?
I thought that was hilarious.
I could I could tell. Great. Anyways, I I have a bunch of other things I found interesting. Did you know possums and a opossum are two different creatures?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that, Carl?
I have no idea what you just said.
A possum and a possum are two different creatures.
Uh, okay.
Did you know that? I thought that was crazy. I heard
I
like
I don't know what the different animals are, so I guess I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah, I didn't know the word possum and opossum existed. I just didn't know they were two separate species. Like whoever decided to name them should be fired. That's confusing, or at least to me. Did you know this, Ira? Like, did you always know this? Like, was this
Yes,
common
I
knowledge?
did.
Really? Do you know the difference aside from the spelling?
Um, opossums
Mm-hmm.
are usually bigger and like eat more trash.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that all you really got?
That's all I know.
Great, great. I'm glad this is a wicked start right now. Well, I'm I'm already getting bored. I have a bunch of notes about the things we could talk about, but I decided that you guys are probably not going to give me much. So I'm just going to go ahead and move
That's kind
to.
of rude.
I'm sorry. Do you want to hear another thing? Do you want to? I got.
No.
Okay. So you want to? Great. I'm glad I have two my bestest friends here. Really, really supported me on my dream. Anyways, so originally I had a game planned out for you guys, but after like the 2-day incident, I decided to change it to a topic that we're going to talk about. And that topic is trust, trust in people, trust to be on time, trust in communication,
Fuck
or
you, Christian.
Maybe I should like leave. Yeah.
no, I want to hear you guys any story. I want to hear a story. It could be something you heard of, something you have any relation to, something that you can trust, or anything you can never trust for anything. And to give you time to figure out your stuff, I'm not just gonna let you jump in right away without you having some time to think for yourselves. I'm gonna tell you a story that actually inspired this idea that I found yesterday, a few hours ago. So, long ago, there lived a king, a wise king mostly. He was not the greatest king of all time, but he was fairly liked. Or no, he was actually really great. In fact, he was so great he had almost everything he could ever want. He had money, he had power, he had most of the love of his kingdom people. Except the one thing he craved for was trust. You see, he was a very paranoid man. He feared that everyone around him was waiting for his downfall, waiting to like backstab him. So At one point, eventually, he decided to ask a request for his entire kingdom. He said, like, yo, give me something I can trust. Whoever can bring me something I can absolutely trust, no matter the situation, I will grant you any wish your heart may desire. And so, a bunch of people showed up. There was like quite a list, but I'll only really tell you the four of them who kind of caught my eye. The first one was a farmer. Actually, no, my bad. That was a boring one. The first one that showed up was a merchant who brought like a sickly old man next to him, and he was like, "My king, this man, I found him like dying on the side of the road. He has no family, he has no friends, and but only a few days left to live. And during that time, I plan to provide him anything he could possibly need. Therefore, he has no reason to betray me and nothing to gain. And this is a true essence of how to create trust." Another was a mother who brought her daughter, and she said, like, "My king, this is my daughter. Since she's been born, I have raised her to always speak right and never stray from good." And so naturally, the king didn't just take them at their word. He first wanted to test them, naturally, obviously. So he asks the old man, he's like, "How did you end up on the side of your road?" And the old man responded with like, "Yeah, so when everyone in my village, when I needed them, when my crops like died out during like a drought or a famine, they all turned their backs from me. My kids no longer respected me and tossed me out, and I ended up being betrayed by like my wife who died from he just been betrayed from his wife. I kind of forgot it." And so the king offered him an option. He was like, "All right, sounds like you've been wronged. I will give you the chance to get revenge on all who has wronged you, and all you have to do is renown the merchant who saved you." And the old man easily did that. He kind of insulted the merchant and walked off to get his revenge. The next was the mother, obviously. So the king asked the mother, like, "Has your child ever like strayed, or how has this child have always stayed on the right path?" And the mother responded with like, "Obviously, this child has strayed a few times, but I made sure to punish her harshly each time, so she always knows what's right." So the king decided to put that to the test. He said, "All right, let's test that. For this next month, no one is allowed to discipline this child." And within a few weeks, the child kind of grew restless and kind of turned into a gremlin, kind of as all children do. So naturally, that was a fail. And this been going. He had this like poster up for a long time, so people started getting more and more creative. The next two people who showed up was a mathematician, I think, and he pulled up a book and he was like, "This book holds statistics. You know you can trust this book of statistics because you can see patterns, you can see it all." And the next person who showed up was a philosopher who brought a mirror. And he was just like, "Well, the answer is obvious. The only one you can truly trust is yourself," obviously, as he holds up the mirror to the king. And so, he tests the mathematician by like scrolling through his books, and he's like, "Hey, why is there a fluxion or like a discrepancy at like this part of time?" And the mathematician gave like a long response, long and boring, that I'm not gonna recite. And the king responded with like, "Did you figure that out after or before this happened?" And the mathematician was like, "Well, after, but I'm pretty confident I could figure out the next one." And so the king kind of pondered a bit, and he was like, "All right, here's the deal. If you can predict the next like event or whatever and be right about it, I will, grant your wish or whatever. However, if you're wrong, I will punish you like severely." And he gave the mathematician time to think. He gave back his book and he started scrolling for a while, and he couldn't really, trust himself that he found the right thing. And so, he walked off defeated because he did not want to take that risk. The next guy, the philosopher, he pulled up the mirror. He was like, "You can only really trust yourself." So the king just said, like, "All right, guards, whip him. Like, I order him to be whipped." And the philosopher quickly started going like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what's up with that?" This kind of goes against my rights or whatever. And he's just like, "Well, according to your logic, the only one I can trust is myself. Therefore, my judgment of you need to be whipped shouldn't be wrong, right?" And so, he started whipping the philosopher to the point that he started going like, "I take it back, I take it back." And he left in defeat. And a few more times, a bunch of people brought up a bunch of things and, couldn't satisfy him. So eventually, he came up with the idea like, if people can't bring me it, I must create something I can truly trust. And so, this 7-year project, 10-year project of sparing no expense to create a golem, you know, he had his most brilliant scholars write up knowledge to fill the robot's brain. He had like the strongest workers to get the best material. And after like a fortune and nearly like 10 years, the golem was made. He was essentially perfect. He was like a golden armor, golden robot. And he finally got brought up to the king, and the king said like, "What can you do?" And the robot responded with, "Anything. You can ask me to do anything. I can chop wood, I can teach, I can raise war, I can plow your crops. All you must do is ask." And so naturally he tested it. He observed the robot at its work. It chopped trees, it tended to the garden, and he had other people write down any minor mistakes that it might have made and try to fix it. And after a month, they found absolutely wrong. It completely perfected any skill or any task it gave him. But the king wasn't sure if he could trust him. So he decided to test the robot, obviously. He tried testing it by offering it its freedom, offering it riches, offering it pleasure, whatever that meant. And the robot didn't want any of it. It just kept on working. He was like, "I'm good." And he was like, "All right, gotta take this. I gotta twist it up a notch." And he offered the robot the crown. He said, "I'm gonna be away for a bit. For this next month, you are allowed to rule the kingdom however way you fit, and I'll be back in a month. You have access to my armies. You have access to my wealth. You have access to my knowledge. You can have anything you want." And the robot agreed. The king left for a month, but secretly stayed on the side, trying to listen in on what might have happened. And in that month, the robot did nothing. Like his attendants were just like, yeah, like aside from giving the bare minimum of what it takes to rule a kingdom, he didn't do anything drastic. So far, the robot, like, he seems trustworthy, but the king is a very paranoid man. He wasn't fully sure if he could. So he over this time the robot kept on learning. The scribe, the people who filled up his knowledge, had to start writing smaller and smaller. And so the king is just like, "All right, go to the village, go to my kingdom and help whatever, like do whatever what people ask you." He helped like teachers, he helped the farmers. In fact, and it was so good at its job, the kingdom started flourishing. Like it was doing, kingdom was flourishing. It was doing great. And so, the king is a bit old at this point, kind of a bit wrinkly, and he still wasn't sure if he could trust the robot. So, during he asked to be left alone with the robot at a balcony at his kingdom, and he like looks at his crown as he takes it off, and he's like, "You have become truly formidable. Most of my scholars take your advice without even really considering their own. If your intentions were to take my crown, I honestly don't think I'd be able to stop you." And the robot didn't really say anything to that. And he like turns to the robot and he's like, "Can I trust you?" And the robot was like, "You can." And the king was like, "I'm just not sure. Is there any way that you can prove I can trust you?" And the robot responded with, "Ask me to burn this kingdom down, or ask this castle down, and tell me to remain inside. And though I will be destroyed, you will know for a fact that you could have trusted me." And the king kind of retorted with like, "Well, you know that could never work. It took a fortune to build you, and time, and like how much is 10 years? Like a
Decade.
decade, yeah, a decade to build you,
Decade.
decade, yeah, a decade to build you. Like how you might have learned that I would never let you be destroyed, and you know that I would order you to save yourself last second, and you would have earned my trust." And the robot, obviously retorted with like, "Yeah, if I was trying to take the crown, I guess that would be a strategy I might use." And the king kind of slumped down and was like, "Yep, there's truly no way to know if I can truly trust you." And this story, he takes off his crown as he like kind of looked at the robot, and the robot kind of doesn't do anything. And the story ends there. It's supposed to be open ended, and that was the story of trust. Isn't that a
Oh,
beautiful?
no.
What do you mean? No. What's wrong with that story?
That's such a lame story.
I like that. Okay,
What did you even like about it?
I don't
The
know. I like.
open-endedness makes it even
Yeah,
worse.
no. So okay. So do you want
What?
to? The initial game I had for you guys was because I like this story so much, but I hate open-ended stories. Was that I was gonna do my own research and find a bunch of open-ended stories, tell you the stories, and you guys would have had to figure out the ending for me for it to be satisfying enough. But I got lazy and I couldn't find any or any like good ones, so I kind of gave up on that. But I still like
Okay.
this story is supposed to be a representation of AI, if that wasn't obvious.
Uh-huh. That
Yeah.
which and it also didn't make any sense either because how the fuck are there robots and you still have scribes?
No, okay, it's a golem. I just called it a robot because I didn't want to say golem.
Okay.
What?
A
You
golem is
saying
like a
Golem would have
medieval
made
robot.
so much more sense.
Ah,
No, it is
yes.
not. It's not a medieval robot.
Yes, it is. I swear. Well, Car, do you have anything to say to the story? Do you want to tell me that I did a good job in picking it?
Well, okay,
What?
here.
What are?
I'll do the game. I'll do the game for you.
No, I don't
What
have.
actually happens? What actually happens in the end is a secret third guy walks in and he's like, "Well, you can trust me." And then the king trusts him and then the story's over.
All right, what about you? What about you, Car?
That that was pretty good. I don't
All
know.
right, you get a point for that. I kind of forgot. I was supposed to be giving you points. I'm gonna give Carl
Oh,
a point for that
nice.
for supporting me.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So the score's now 1-0. Honestly,
What?
I
I didn't get a
complete.
point for my answer?
Dude, that was the most. Dude, the king goes through all that, and a single guy shows up like, "You can trust me." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
can."
But that's the
That's what
thing
makes
about
it so
love.
beautiful. He's so old,
Yeah.
but he's like completely
Only
forgotten about
Thing
his
things
about
that you just
paranoia.
that's that's the thing about love.
robot taught him to trust people, and so a random guy came in, and now he trusts him.
Oh my god. Trust is true. You really can only trust yourself. Well, anyways, now that I've told you my story, I
Well, clearly
explained the
that
top.
wasn't true. Clearly you didn't like listen to the story as you were
Yeah,
like
clearly.
telling it.
All right. Well, anyways, now that I told you the story, um, do you guys now have your topic or your little idea, your little story you want to tell me now?
What
What?
story?
Okay, no, I did you not. Okay, I said that okay, you guys are just gonna figure something out. I want to hear a moment. I want to hear a moment of trust for you guys. When I tell you trust, what is something
Oh
you
yeah, I
trust in?
forgot.
Yeah, great. You just listened to that and not thought of your own.
Well, it's like a moment of trust for me is when
Is there
if we're
any?
running
Okay.
like a supermarket together and I'm like, "Can you restock the name brand cereal while I run the counter?" And there's for some weird reason there's only two people working in the supermarket, and I think that's an example of trust.
Hmm. I don't know what he's talking about. I want to be honest. Okay, I asked.
What do
Okay,
you
I just
mean?
want you guys to tell me a moment of trust. Do you have anything at home or anything that when you're down in the dumps, you know you can always rely on this thing or this person?
Me,
Me.
bitch.
True.
You you can always rely on yourself for what?
And for everything.
For everything. What if you're depressed? You just can cheer yourself up. It's
As if
kind
I've ever depression isn't real.
of okay. I can't help but notice you opened the game up, Ira.
You know what? You know what? One thing I can trust:
What?
gravity.
Rapidity? That is, I guess that's true. Honestly, I would have actually, that should have been. You know what? I'll give you a point for that. Gravity is something you can always trust in. That is true. I know you meant to say gravity,
So,
but I'll take gravity instead. Carl, what about you? Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Uh, not really.
Come on, man. You don't have
I
any. You don't have. Do you not trust anything? Does
I
you
trust
can't
I trust things and people to disappoint me.
I trust the gamer saloon.
the gamer saloon?
Yeah,
What's that?
it's the play games, win cash, compete in video game tournaments and for cash prizes or head to head
So
for real
true.
money.
I don't.
$100 million plus in prizes awarded. Established in 2006, Gamer Saloon is a pioneer of game tournaments and online
Are you
1v1s for
reading
real
this? Are
money.
Yeah,
you?
can you believe that?
Can
What do
you?
you think?
Never miss a challenge. Download the Gamer
Can you
Saloon app and
simplify
receive
that? Can
challenge
you simplify
notifications
that
and
for me?
simple event notifications.
I don't know. I kind of can't help but notice that doesn't feel like an original thought of yours. You kind of just felt like you just read something
No, it's like off the cuff.
off the cuff.
Yeah.
What do you think, Carl? Do you believe that?
I believe him. I trust Ira.
All right, I'll just give him a point for that, I guess. All right, Carl. Do you
I'm
really not have
0-0.
any? Carl, do you really have? Is there nothing that you can trust? Do you have anything? You don't trust your family. You don't trust your friends. You don't trust your like PC to always turn on.
Uh, I trust Wellesley to keep a secret. Actually,
Really? That doesn't
yeah,
sound like.
you guys will find out Thursday.
Wait, what does that mean?
You got to come to my house on Thursday to find out.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. For come on, man, you got really is okay. So I was the only one who turned in something, and he didn't
What do you
even.
mean? I literally okay.
Okay, I don't
Yeah,
really know if
fuck
that
you, Carl.
counts. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that counts, but I'm not giving a point for that.
Lame.
Well, I guess then let's switch things up. Can you guys tell me something you guys you have absolutely no faith in?
People.
People.
Carl's sleep schedule.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I like that. I'll give Ira one for that.
Let's go. I'm winning
I
this.
like this is
So
rigged.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
maybe
I'm
just
not
be
winning,
smart.
so it's clearly rigged.
you're so. I mean, you can start winning if you just say something, anything.
I
Honestly,
literally did.
what did you say?
I said people. I don't trust people.
You don't trust people. What about me?
Uh,
Nah.
I guess.
A good point for that. I will take that. I'll take it. I guess. All right. Well, what about your family? You don't trust your family?
I trust my family.
Yeah. See, you could have said that the first portion of that. You couldn't say I
Well,
trust.
you wanted a story.
Okay, I know. I meant anything. I said, and this is a topic.
Yes.
I will take anything so long as it relates to what I asked or what I said.
Oh, Christian.
You can
You're
literally.
all vibes, and that's it.
You're all great. I don't. I'll take that as a compliment. Ira, do you have anything else you don't trust? Like, do you,
I don't. I don't trust. I
well, I can think. I can tell you right now. Some
don't
if
trust
just to give you guys
the
some time to
street.
think.
Oh boy.
Some one thing I don't trust anymore is the voting system. I don't like. I don't know how we got our current president. I, dude, yeah, this is gonna be
Really,
bold.
Christian?
I was gonna get to politics, but like now, look where we are now, dude. How do we get Trump by such a big margin, dude?
Because the
It's
economy is bad and all of the swing voters voted for the different
dude,
party.
dude.
Exactly. Thank you, Ira.
And
A point for the
The
point.
current
and he
party is
also
bad.
he also He also got assassinated attempted 2 times. So,
Yeah, Angel told me that
and there hasn't.
apparently every time that happens, their approval rate skyrockets. Do you think that
Yeah,
was staged?
there's a president. No president has ever got the assassination attempt and two not won the election.
That's I don't know, dude. It's actually kind of crazy. Like I just started looking up videos of like Trump supporters and so, and they're all like there was like an edited video where like the guy was like Trump plans to end war, and every time someone says that, it cuts to a video of Trump saying like let's bomb Ukraine. There was a quote. It's just like and quoted from Trump, launch everything at them. Like I'm just baffled. I talked to my mom about it, and this is kind of crazy for me. She told me that apparently Trump won like 10% of like like first kind of people like me who have like our parents of foreigners but grew up in the USA. He won
Yeah.
10% of vote from those types of people. And the reason for that was because apparently and this has happened a bit to my family. It's kind of bit on my mom's side where the they just start believing that they're pure American. They forget their old culture and they kind of throw it away. They throw it under the bus. I have a cousin of mine
That's
who believes she's all American. She doesn't speak Spanish anymore. She kind of she doesn't she's not proud of the fact that she's from a Hispanic household. And that's really sad, honestly.
I was
Because
just gonna say that. Oh, that's not a new thing. I know.
yeah, I feel like I don't know. I felt like at the end, they say that, but when the time votes, they really, they would pull through. They did not pull through. They did not pull through. In fact, and this is okay. I don't. Let's go on a weird tangent. Do you know? I guess you guys already know. I speak Spanish, or my first language was actually Spanish since I was a kid. Do you have any idea? I know I'm not as good as I used to be, and obviously being here in the US kind of diminished that a bit. You know how pride shattering it is when I talk to someone who is clearly from like Mexico or knows or like Spanish origin, and I go like "Hola, cómo estás?" and their response to me is English, and it's so obvious that their English is not good, but they have the feeling that they need to respond to me in English. It is so it is so hurtful that the fact that my Spanish is either so obviously bad that like a true foreigner or whatever knows it and feels the need to respond to me in English. The only exception to this rule is that they talk to me first. Every other time I talk to someone and I go and I speak in Spanish, their response
What?
is always English. And it's always to tell me they don't speak English. Dude, during my welding class, while I was looking for the mechanic shop, I ran into this lady. She was cleaning the school, and I'm like, Hola, ¿cómo estás? I am looking for the engineering building. And her response was, I don't speak English. And I was confused, and I'm like, like I didn't know what to say because I at first I thought she speaks Spanish, but she's like saying this, so I thought like, oh, I guess I'm racist because I guess I was wrong, and I didn't know how to talk, but I just continued going in Spanish like, okay, lengua hablas, and she goes like, oh, Spanish, and I'm like, uh, what? Like I was so like flabbergasted that I was just like. I continued talking. I'm like, I speak Spanish too. Yo hablo inglés. I mean Spanish. And she's just like, all right. And like I ask her the same question. I'm like, where's building 9? And she's just like, I don't know. And like I walk away and like I walk away and I'm just like I'm in flabbergasted like what did I do? Is it so obvious? Dude, that's something I can no longer trust. I can no longer trust my Spanish accent. Wesley one time when we went roller skating said I had an American accent when speaking Spanish. I didn't really care about that, but since that day, like months later, I've been noticing that trend of like anyone who approach with Spanish needs to respond to me in English, and it's so crushing. That's awful. Can you guys say
Sounds like
something? I
you
feel
need to
like I'm
work
the
on.
only one. I feel
I'm
like
Sounds like
sorry.
you need to work on your Spanish.
you're okay. What do you think? Do you think I don't? You know, I try. Yeah, I try as much as I can. It's just like it feels like there's no improvement. Or
Oh man, you got to take your hobby to the next level.
my hobby, my
Yeah,
hobby.
your
Yeah,
speaking
my
Spanish hobby. You got to
yeah,
take it
yeah,
to the
yeah.
next level.
Being part of Hispanic culture, you know, my family. It's really just a hobby of mine. You know, it comes and goes. Yeah, I really picked this up at the drop of a hat. You know, it was not really my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about you, Carl, and your Scandinavian blood?
I do nothing about that.
You don't do anything. You never try to like live up to your
No,
roots. Oh, well, I
no.
guess you can say you don't trust your Scandinavian. You're one of the people I just talked about the road who turns their back on their culture, who believes they're all American. You know, they're too good for their.
My
It's
family has lived here for years. What are you talking about?
yeah. What about your Hey,
What's up?
yeah. Anyways, that was
Oh, let's go.
well. Any are you playing something?
No, I'm not.
I
I'm
don't
on
know. I
my
just
beanbag.
what's your what?
My beanbag.
Your beanbag. Isn't that a
Yes.
little far from your computer?
Not really.
Oh.
I mean, it's not like I need to be at my computer, right?
I mean, true. I guess all I really need is for you to talk. And honestly, I feel like I've been talking the majority. Do you guys have anything to say? We're
Really?
supposed Yeah, no. You guys are free to
What
jump
gives
in.
you
I know
what gives
you
you
guys are
that?
free to
Yeah.
jump in. I
Well,
know
I
this is
don't
like
want to interrupt you while you're talking.
Yeah, you've
that's
got your little story thing, and I didn't.
yeah, but I want to hear you guys. This isn't just me. This is supposed to be me and my friends, not just me. This is me and friends. Me
I
and
love you.
friends.
Does that help?
Does
I
that
love.
help? What is that?
I'm. I love you.
I'm taking a
I, I
Someone please
love.
say something. I will give a point for to anyone who says anything of anything. Just say anything.
Anything?
Okay, I'll give a point for that. Ira, do you have
Yeah, what's the
anything?
score?
That's
Well,
3-3.
That's
I have
crazy.
a story that I'd like to tell
Please.
about. So there, it's a story that I read online, and
Okay.
Fake.
it's a story about three kings, and and one of the kings really wants to he's like all about trust, and
But
the second king is like, hell nah, I don't trust anyone. And then the third king, he just kind of like does whatever. And the second king, he doesn't want to trust anyone, so he goes off the wood. And the first king and the third king become like really, really good friends. So the first king invites the second king and the third king over for dinner. Um, Wait, no. Which one did I say moved to the
I don't know.
woods?
I'm trying.
No, no,
uh,
no.
I'm a bit appalled,
First king,
flabbergasted
the
here.
first king moved to the woods, and first and the second, the third and the, you know what I'm talking about. So the first king who moved into the woods invites the second and the third king over for a feast, a giant feast,
Mm-hmm.
and um,
What kind of
and
feast?
a
everything that you
feast,
can
Christian.
imagine:
Yeah.
boar, cows, sheep, deer, like
Where do
some.
they live? Where they just
He
have like
lives in the forest. He hunted it all. He's like giant.
what kind of king hunts for his food?
Well,
Cause
he left, didn't he?
yeah, he left.
So he's not really
He
a
moved to
king.
the
He's just a.
woods.
Well, he was.
He moved.
Gosh,
I,
Christian.
I
Christian,
I'm
don't you get
I
on me about
oh
I'm
my
specifics?
so
god.
sorry.
Okay, so he invites the second and the third king to his humble abode, and he's like, can we do? Can he was like, just come over, and then so the giant feast happens, and only the second king shows up, and he's like, no, where's my third king? And he never shows, and then he writes back, and he's like, third king, where were you? And then the third king says, sorry, I I overslept.
Wait, hold on, wait, I'm noticing wait, I can't help but feel related to this. I relate to the characters for some reason.
And
Yeah.
then, and then he's
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll have another feast then.
Oh,
Come by
yeah.
as soon as possible. And then the feast happens again and only the third king comes. And he's like, no, where is my second king? And then the
Wait,
feast is over and he writes back, second king, where were you? And he said, sorry, I saw the baby live and I didn't look at your letter.
oh,
And then, so the moral of the story is the second king is the richest out of them all and does no wrong.
I
True.
like that. You know what? I was curious on where you were going. 2 points for that. That was a fantastic
Thank
story.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
I
Do you
didn't
have
like it.
anything? Do you, well, do you have anything you want to compete with that? Anything at all?
Sorry, I'm not good at like pulling things up my ass.
I mean, you don't have to. Just tell me anything, Carl. It doesn't. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about trust. You know how you can really trust one another. You know. Yeah.
I don't
Anything?
have like experiences to talk about trust.
You
Like
don't. You don't. Okay. Do you have any? Is there any reason for that? Have you been betrayed before? Tell me that. Make something up. I don't care. Just give me something. Is he thinking?
I'm not good at making stuff
I
up.
I don't. I'm sorry. Do you want time? I can give you time.
That's like
What will help, Carl? What can make this easier for you?
I don't know.
Well,
What's up?
I'm sorry. I'm just hoping Carl will jump in or something. I heard fantastic story. You know, that's well earned. I was actually gonna deduct points, but then I really related to the second king in that story.
Why are you gonna deduct
That's
points?
weird
I
that you
don't
related
I
to
don't know. I
the
thought
second
he was making
king.
fun of my original king story of the king. The name of the story was called The King and the Golem.
That's really weird that you relate to the second king.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Weird that
crazy.
doesn't.
It's not
If anything, I think
like
you'd relate to the first king.
is that because I'm sorry. I kind of like. I wish you kind of gave them some. I don't know. Referring them to King One and King Two and King Three kind of lost me
No,
at some point.
the first king. That's I didn't say king one. I said the first king.
King, yeah,
Yeah, right, Christian.
yeah.
Like you didn't even listen to my story.
You're, you're right. You're
Like
right.
you didn't even care.
I'm sorry. You're right. Is there any way I can make that up to you? You
Hmm. No, give me like $1,000 maybe.
thousand about okay.
I don't think he can afford that.
I
Nice callback, Joe.
here's $1,000.
I listened
Just
to the tire changing story.
also you didn't wait. Just I thought you didn't see the message. I not that you were listening to the baby. Is that what you said?
I just didn't see it. Like I had plans that night, so
You didn't.
I just never opened it.
You not once did you think like, hey, maybe he's been postponing it a day each time. Maybe let's see if anything changed.
No, nothing
That's
in my
also my
mind
Um,
told me to
um,
check in on that, yeah.
okay. What about you,
Well, it's
Carl?
also like, what are you talking about? Because like this is a story that like
You're
has
right.
nothing to
You're right. It's a
do with our
story.
life.
The story. I'm just like as pretend as if you were the king who was listening to this. Put yourself in his shoes. Try to relate to
Yeah.
him. He, anyways, Carl, please tell me you've thought of anything. I don't
Carl,
want to. I'm not trying to throw
I
you under.
please come up with anything, Carl.
Dude, I would put in a submission. I'll take any submission. Make it
I
up. Look it up.
I can't make things up. Like,
Then look one up. I'll give you a minute to look a story about
I don't
trust.
want
You don't
this.
wanna.
I
Great,
don't.
great. Well, I can tell you for the fact that what time I think I'm just gonna call it, you know. Well fought well, I think, Taro. You've proven that I can trust you the least to follow a topic. And Ira,
Yay.
I don't know if
I
Ira doesn't.
win.
I'm pretty sure Ira isn't the most trustworthy person, but he showed up and said, "You can trust me," and I agreed to it. So I don't know if I can trust him, but I
So
guess the
in a
future
way,
will tell.
I'm like that guy who walks in and says, "You can
Yeah,
trust."
yeah. Uh, you will never betray me, right, Ira? If I crowned you the winner, you will never do something like the king who was late ever again, would you?
No, well, it's like I wouldn't even do that in the first place. Is the
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess Ira wins, I guess I'll read you the points. Carl scored 1 point. I mean, scored 3 points.
What?
Sorry, I meant, sorry, I put the tally. I meant tally marks, but my tally marks are just one. So Carl won 3 points. Ira won 5 points. 2 points from that beautiful story. That really touched my heart.
Thank
So
you, thank
Ira, I guess you won. You'll be here next time, if there even is a next time. And Carl, sorry, man. You're banished forever to the shadow realm.
Okay,
Oh, okay, you're not sad.
not really.
Oh, all right. Well,
You want me to be sad?
I mean, yeah, I'll give you a point for that.
Right, you want me to be sad?
I
I'll if
mean,
you
Christian, that
if
yeah.
seems kind of
if
rude.
it becomes if you say you're sad right now, I'll give you a point.
I'm sad.
All right, that's 1 point. However, Ira still had 5, and that puts you at 4, so you still don't win.
Yeah, I know.
Ha ha ha.
I can do basic math.
Yeah. Well, Carl really tried his hardest. I think this is the most I've ever seen Carl try at
So
anything.
true.
All right. Well, I guess if anyone's listening, I appreciate it, and I hope next time things are better. Yeah, I guess Ira, do you have anything to say before I end? You want to have a speech about you being a winner and better than everyone else?
Um, being the winner is always worth it. Do anything that you can, even if it's against your morals.
Against
And if you
do
listen
whatever
to
it takes to win.
something,
Stomp at the skulls of your
This is
enemies.
his speech, I believe,
Oh,
Christian.
I'm sorry.
if
I'm sorry.
you listen to the whole thing, I'm sorry.
You're sorry. I put a lot of.
But yeah.
All right, Carl. Anything you want to say before you're gone forever
I
for
think
another
I think
story?
this competition was rigged. I want to
Yeah,
recount.
I
And if you
think
don't,
I
I'm gonna
think if
go
I
to
think if you
someone's
don't try
house.
it, anything, it's always rigged.
Well, clearly I didn't win, so it was rigged.
Yeah, yeah. Can you say to everyone who, like, the millions of people who are listening, I'm assuming, that you tried your hardest?
Well, I'm not really one to lie.
Mm. So you're noticing a pat when you don't try at something, it's not really that close of a fight. Can you really still call that rigged?
Well, I'm kind of perfect, so
You're right. You are perfect. I can never stay mad at you. I'll probably forget about this tomorrow. All right. Well.
I'm sorry, Christian.
Oh. Well. All right. That I'm ending it. Have a good night, everyone.